What is up, everyone? My name is Michael Pohl with Bay Area Aquatics, and today we're going to be reviewing the Lee's Triple Flow box filter. It's personally my favorite box filter. Alright, so before we get started with the video, just want to give a quick plug to www.bayareaaquatics.com. You can check out our merch, shirts, hoodies, etc., and as well as our articles and cool stuff like that. So be sure to go check that out. Most people that have seen my channel for a little bit know that I'm one of the weirdos that actually likes box filters. I know not everyone does, but I do. I use them quite a bit, use them in all my breeding tanks, my quarantine tanks, etc. This is the one that I tend to buy. I have several of these. This is the Lee's Triple Flow box filter. This is the small one, about the size of a soda can. I haven't used the large one just because most of my tanks are like 10 gallons, and I just haven't bothered to buy the large one to see what the size comparison is. But this is the small. So it's about the size of a baseball soda can, somewhere in there. Good for a 10, maybe 20 gallon tank. And I use these quite a bit. That being said, there's a couple things that I hate about this box filter that I wish people would fix. So Lee's, if you're listening, which you're probably not, fix these, please. I beg of you. This is old technology, yet it's super simple to fix. And I don't know why it hasn't been fixed yet. Probably because most people don't like to use it. But it's simple. Simple changes. Please, stop. Fix it. Now, the first thing that I absolutely do not like about this is this whole foot pedestal thing, right? It's a little cheap plastic thing. It kind of pops into the bottom here. It's real thin. I wish this was weighted. If this was weighted, it'd be a game changer. If this was weighted, it'd be a lot easier to put ceramic media in. It'd be a lot less likely to float up. You could just put polyfill in it straight and use it as a water polisher. I wish this was a weighted base like they did in sponge filters. It would be a really, really handy thing on a box filter. I know that would make the price go up, but I'm okay with that. I'd pay more to have a weighted base. Or even have an optional weighted base you could swap out. Just another option. The next thing that I really don't like about these Lee's box filters is the air stone that they come with. They're advertised as, they're these little white ones, they're advertised as discard stones. And so on the box it says you're supposed to replace this every 3 to 4 weeks. Now, I don't know if they're any different than a regular air stone. It's definitely really fine, so this definitely is going to get clogged easy. I haven't ran one long enough to figure that out. I usually swap the air stones in these right away. I personally throw aquarium co-op, never clog air stones in all of the box filters, just because, you know, I like that. Now, there's some box filters, like these little corner ones, there's no place for an air stone. They have a little air system, which has its pros and cons, right? It's less likely to clog, but you can't really control the shape of the bubbles or the size of the bubbles. Now, the next downside, and this is probably the biggest downside that I personally have with these, is the plastic that they're made out of is very, very fragile. Not super fragile, like I've only ever broken 2. That being said, I've only used like a dozen of them or so, right? Not the greatest record. And they were right when I first started using them. So I wasn't quite, I was super rough on them. I wasn't quite paying attention and I broke them. The plastic on the Lee's box filter specifically is relatively thin, right? So like if I really crunch down on this, I could break this pretty easily. I mean, I could probably do the same with the little Chinese filter, but this is a lot thicker of a plastic. It doesn't feel like it's going to break. It doesn't feel as brittle. The biggest problem I have with the Lee's, and it comes back to this little pedestal design, is a lot of times, and when I first got into these, the little pedestal doesn't feel like it's in. It barely goes in, right? And that's all the way in. So I started to kind of push these in and shove these, and you break the bottom of these box filters if you put way too much pressure on it. And so a lot of times I actually run them without the stool. I just throw them in like this. I don't put the base in just because it's less likely to break that way. But I wish the plastic wasn't so thin because I really do like this design. It's got the simple pedestal. It's got the box. It's got the little intake tube with the grate for the air. And then it's got the lid, and it comes with a little bit of air line and the little adapter pieces so that you don't have to run a super long air line piece all the way back up to your air pump. You can just disconnect it at the tank versus having to like pull it from your air system or adding your own little splitter in, which I really like. I think it's a really handy little bit, and like I said, I use these quite a bit. Other than that, like I said, I really like these Lee's box filters. I do use them. I buy them. If I break one, I buy a new one. I have a couple, like this one is just an unused one that I have sitting on the shelf in case I need one, or backup. I've got 2 or 3 of them just sitting on the shelf. Not because they're breaking, just because I've been setting up a lot of tanks recently. Like I said, I haven't broken one in 7 or 8 months, but I've only been using these for 7 or 8 months. And like I said, I broke them right at the start. So as long as you go into it, I haven't broken one since. It's just a matter of not being super rough with it. As usual, the pros of the box filter, it's got the flexibility. When you lift it out of the tank to do maintenance, all of the mold and stuff stays stuck in this box. It's not like a sponge filter where it all just falls out. Even if you turn the air off, it doesn't all just fall out. It stays in the box, which I really like. And just the typical benefits that I personally like of a box filter for the average hobbyist. So let me know in the comments if you've used the Lee's triple flow box filters, if you've used them, if you like them, if you don't like them, if you use box filters, maybe you prefer these styles, maybe you prefer, I know there's a million, Penplax makes a couple of them, and a couple things like that. Do you DIY your own box filters? Let me know what you do, because I'm always looking for the next better box filter, because I really do like box filters. And yeah, I'm just kind of out there seeing what is out there, and I don't know everything that's out there. So some of you guys know more than me, or most of you guys know more than me, and I'm just looking for something that's going to fit my needs. So if you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you get notified every time we upload a video. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you know what to do. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.